I call to order the Monroe Public Schools Board of Education work session. Today is Monday, February 23rd, 2026, and the time is 5:30 PM. Jamie, can we have roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Heck.
Here.
Mr. Jenkins.
Here.
Ms. Myers.
Here.
Mr. Sabadini.
Here.
Mrs. Tarasi.
Here.
Can we please stand for the pledge? Before we begin, please note that this meeting is being live streamed and recorded. There are two cameras in use this evening, one focused on the Board of Education and another one that will be used during any public commentary or presentations. By participating in this meeting, you acknowledge that you may be captured on video. Thank you for your understanding and for joining us tonight. Next up is discussion items, and I'll turn it over to Superintendent Shaw.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you. So tonight, it's our pleasure to have Men on a Mission, Monroe County Mental Health and Behavioral Urgent Care, and our Youth Services Department with us tonight. So they're going to be sharing what's going on in their areas, how Monroe Public Schools can support them, or how they're supporting Monroe Public Schools, and then any kind of needs they have. And so our guys from Men on a Mission. So we have with us tonight Rosie Barnes, Larry Aaron, and Ike Smith. Who's going to do all the talking?
All three of us going to do a little.
All right.
Be a team. we're a team. So I'm Roosevelt Barnes. This is Ike Smith, and this is Larry Aaron. Okay, and we're going to defer to our senior here to talk in a little bit. But Ike's 1974 MVP of the Monroe High basketball team. Okay. I was a sophomore. I used to pass the ball to him. Okay. He's 1979 MVP of the Monroe High School basketball team. Okay. I'm 75 and 76. All of us played at Monroe High School. All of us are alumni. All of us were very athletic. Okay. We came back to get involved because we want to get back in the school system and the community, mainly in the community, but also in the school system to help with the youth in Monroe. So, Mr. Heck's father-in-law used to be a volunteer with a program that I ran some years ago called Back to Basics in the school system. Okay? So we want to help young people, and we think we have something to offer to the community. We want to see the community in Monroe successful. We want to see the school system successful. And we want to, I think the things, the talents that we have and the knowledge and wisdom we have from different areas of work, different areas of sports, different areas of education, I think that we can come in and help. And we were in the process of helping. We had met with Dr. Chet Hesson and Laura at Harborwood, okay? And we were in the process of formulating a program to go over there and mentor, but due to the situation with Dr. Hesson, it fell apart, okay? So we didn't have him there, so we hope to get that started once he comes back, because we want to get in, like I said, we want to get into the schools and work with the young people to help mentor them, to help guide them, to help teach them, because one of the things, for me being a man of color, okay, and a college graduate, okay, I understand how to navigate. See, you got to be able to know how to navigate college, okay? And no matter who you are, you got to understand about writing papers and what to do, not to do, where to go, what not to go. And if you have someone who's been there before you, then they can give you some wisdom on your choices and decisions. And so that's what we want to do as men on a mission. So I'm going to turn this over to my captain. No, he wasn't the captain, but he he was a great player at Monroe High School. When he played at Monroe Community College, he went to Monroe Community College, okay? And so I'm gonna give it over to Ike.
Thank you, Rosie. Ike Smith, and as he said, 1974 alumni and 76 at Monroe Community College. Men on a Mission, it started tragically with my niece's passing from a drug overdose. And we've said enough is enough about drugs that had infiltrated and pretty much dominated the side of town I grew up in. And as many olive branches we tried to extend to my niece, she was never able to grasp onto one of those. So we thought that maybe if we would catch the students a little earlier, and when we got with Dr. Chad, we discussed the troubled students in attendance, behavioral problems, and also those who didn't have parents engaging with them, couldn't get to school and those type of things. And we were targeting that position as to come in and mentor, sit down, and maybe even approach the parents. So it was collectively, not only in the school, but also in the home front. And we thought it was worthwhile for us to invest our time to meet with parents, meet with the students, see what they're lacking as far as their educational skills and what that skill set may be. I know how vital it was for me in high school and also in college. Attendance is the key, but education unlocks the door. You have to be there and willing to learn. So how do we convince them of doing that? We were formatting this a program to try to implement that and to approach parents and students. So that has been our main goal, also to reach out in the community right now as to parents that we do know and students that we do recognize, but also to keep our educators aware of where we're at and what we're trying to accomplish. So that is the mission of the men that has come together and to try to revitalize the hearts and souls of those, probably the least of these at some schools and some communities. So that's primarily the goal. I'll defer to Larry.
Larry Aaron, again, lifelong resident of Monroe, graduated Monroe High again, as Rosie said earlier. But I just want to say this as it relates to the men on a mission and our efforts. One of the things that we take pride in and take great consolation in is that our efforts are pretty much based on a couple biblical principles. One is love our neighbors as ourselves, and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because again, Jesus said that inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of them, you have done it unto me. And so that is pretty much the foundation and the springboard of our efforts. And so whatever we can find our hands to do, to build our communities, to help our communities, to reach out to our communities, resources. We held a job fair where there were employers from probably 20 different companies that came to this specific job fair and resource fair, and we had over 75 to 80 applicants that came looking for jobs and resources. We had someone there from an expungement program. We had someone there to help with the resume, building resumes and putting together resumes. And so these are the things that we came together to do, and we'll be talking about having maybe a march in the summertime where we can march to bring awareness to any drugs or these things in our neighborhoods, just to, again, make ourselves available and known to let our community, Monroe City, let them know that we're here to help and because when we have strong neighborhoods and strong communities, we have strong cities, you know, and we help to build pillars of our community instead of menaces to society. And so that's part of what Men on a Mission is really all about. And so again, with the efforts of the high school, Mr. Chet, and whoever want to get involved, you know, Men on a Mission is here to listen and to help be a bridge and a gap to whatever issues that face our city and our communities. And so,
Okay, and I want to share just one more thing before we go, because as I was talking about Mr. Chappelle, who is Mr. Heck's father-in-law, okay, this is a picture of me, my wife, Bev Heck of the Community Center, and Eric Van Vielen. Eric was a outstanding principal at Lincoln Elementary School and Cantrick Middle School here. And he was an educational advocate in terms of going the extra mile to help kids after school. They worked extremely well with us and the community because everybody is not going to go the extra mile to help young people. And it's important that we be able to engage with people who really have a sincere concern and care, that they really want to see people successful. So that's what we're trying to do, and come back in and work with the people who really want to see Monroe Public Schools and the youth successful. And all the youth got, if you know anything, all the youth got different needs. And we're trying to meet them where they're at, trying to figure out where they're at, and trying to help and assist them to have an opportunity to succeed in whatever area of life they choose to go on to. So that's part of what our mission is. Do you all have any questions that y'all would like to ask?
You had a question for Larry. You mentioned a job fair. When was the job fair?
it was last November the 5th or November the 6th, down at, it was held at the community center down on the east side of Monroe down there.
Okay.
And so, yeah, again, over 75 to 80 applicants came and, yeah,
Some got jobs.
yeah, and matter of
Some got
fact,
some
a couple-
jobs?
some-
Yes.
That's good to hear.
We reached out to them, you know, we took the names and numbers and we
Followed
up with them to
Calls.
see exactly if there was anything else we could do to make it better, or did they have any success, and some of them did, so
Are you planning on doing it again?
we are.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I was working with Gary Jenkins, serving meals to the needy down at Oaks of Righteousness. And, you know, the second Wednesday of every month, I'm still doing it, Gary.
Yeah, another, no, we also team with, was that Monroe Community College was there,
Public schools.
Public Schools was there, Michigan Works, and
MCOP.
and MCOP, our partners. MCOP are our
Skill
partners, and
trades.
so is Michigan Works.
So yeah, we try to collaborate with all the agencies in Monroe to give a holistic approach to whatever the need is. We had people on site building resumes right there. Okay, so wherever the need is, we trying to meet it, and we're trying to help people. Okay, someone helped us. That's why I always look at it. We wouldn't be where we were at unless somebody reached out a hand to help us. Okay, and we're trying to come back into Monroe. You know, we, like I said, we all alumni of Monroe, and one of the things that I think that is extremely important is that you build alumni base.
Relationships.
You know, because you know, alumni are going to come back just because they're alumni. It's not. I don't have. I'm not getting no financial reward or anything of that. But you know, when I look at schools, you know, such as Country Day School, I know Robin Williams, the guy, the actor that passed away, he gave that school, ever since high school, he gave him something like $10 million. He willed it to him, and, you know, and then when you have schools like Brother Rice, Detroit Catholic Central. Detroit Catholic Central is on a plot of land right now because an alumni gave them that land. But that's because of the relationship building. The school board, the administrators, the athletic directors, that the people build with the alumni. And so I just think that it's vital that as a group that you all look at that in terms of what we need here. You know, and I think that it is a good start with some of that being done right now with Mr. Polizzi and Dr. Hessen. I think those guys are alumni of here. They care about the kids. They care about the community. And that's what you need. Everybody, quiet as kept, they don't care. And, you know, I played ball with these guys, basketball, okay? I can quickly discern a team person and an I person. I can quickly discern that. There's a difference in a team person and an I person. And we need people that's thinking team, that's thinking big, that's thinking, what can we do to help everyone and work together? And let's work together to achieve the goal to help all the kids, help all the people in this.
And that's man on a mission.
Can you,
Prepare the
That's
next generation for success.
Yeah, I hear some.
can you give us a short version of what you were talking to Dr. Hessen about and maybe Mr. Polizzi? I mean, we don't have to wait for any particular group of people. I mean, whatever we can do to help, I'm here to listen.
Basically, what we were doing, we was in the process of outlining this mentoring program and how it looks. Chet and Ms. Laura was going to be very instrumental in identifying some of the, you know, students, the students that, you know, would be willing to allow us to come in and help mentor them and just be a part of building them and interjecting with them. And so that's the process. We was in the middle of that, just getting the details outlined specifically. So, you know, building just a foundation for that. And that's kind of where.
And part of it was they were going to have the basketball players from Monroe High School come over and work with the kids, and then we were going to work with the basketball players and the kids, because we're former athletes, okay?
Breakout sessions.
And we
No breakout.
We're gonna have breakout
we're gonna have
sessions.
breakout
Sessions
sessions.
and
We're
talk
gonna
about
have
personal-
words of the day, talking to
Yeah,
them.
life lessons was, you know, yeah, not
You know.
just athletics, but life lessons was going to be built into this outline program.
Because you can take, when you talk about team, you can take sports and you learn lessons through sports on how to operate when you go to work, with your family, with life skills. You learn life skills. So if you have good leadership in terms of a coach, administrator, and they understand these dynamics and they can implement these dynamics into the system, it gives you life skills, you know? And that's what we are trying to come back in and help the youth with some life skill training.
Good to see you, Ike. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
Him and I, just transparency reason, we go back to when we were children. That's serious business.
Yeah.
I go back to the original community center. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Oh, I remember it.
We were lucky enough, we had a couple guys that kept us boys in line. It was Al Capicelli and Clarence Bird. They kept us in line.
Joe Augusta.
You know, I see you doing this, so I know it's got to be something good, Ike.
Yeah.
I know that, and I hope everybody takes my word for that. And I guess the question is, what can we do for you? What is it you guys want us to do? Because I can tell you, from being on this board, all right, having to deal with some of these young guys, you know, dad's not around, you know? Mom's got issues, and we deal with this all the time, and I talk, and it's like, you know, what do I got to do to talk to these kids? You know, like I said, I mentioned a couple guys that helped me when I was out of line as a young guy. What can we do? I mean, we've got the kids, we got, especially boys that just need, they need a big brother, they need a dad, they need somebody to let them understand, how do I go from being a boy to being a man? They don't understand it, you know? I know you, I
think
know
that-
you could teach that, you know?
And that's one of the biggest things, Gary, is having access, to have opportunity to talk to students like that.
Do you want us to send kids to you?
Well, we were doing that in that environment that Chet tried to bring together, him and Laura. And that's what the breakout sections would be, the one-on-one conversations, and making arrangements to maybe go to a home, to reach out to the parent and engage in them. If they didn't have rides to school, we were ready to provide a ride. That was one of the biggest obstacles of getting the students to school. And the numbers he gave us was just astronomical, I can believe it. But it is what it is, so we need to start somewhere.
Just let us know what we can do.
Okay.
We would love to help you guys. Love to see somebody stepping forward to help some of these kids.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
the biggest thing right now is awareness. And we will sit down together and form the starting point collectively, because we have to, I want to, you know, have the total respect of the school system, the leadership that they're in, but also the trust that they would have in us and allow us to meet with the children maybe at the school or the parents, or getting that information so we can understand what they're lacking, you know, not being in school. Well, let's go talk to the parents. Let's see what the real issue is.
And so what we were doing was just putting together a reproducible model. So we can take, this can be done anywhere, you know, this is day one. Hour and a half session, 15 minutes, athletics, 15 minutes, life lessons, 15 minutes, open talk forum, and putting together this thing concrete. So again, this thing could be, you know, reproducible, you know, and it's just like, and that's what we were working on. And once we maybe formulate that, then, you know, we can reach out and see where, you know, we can,
You know, I think the schools and the leadership, you know, they can tell us right off the bat what had not been working. And that's going to help us to find out what will work. And so we talked with Chad, he said about a lot of parents he couldn't get a hold of. But I can't go over there, you know, but I'm willing to go over there. So, in a lot of these situations.
So I just have,
Question.
Yeah.
I know there's other questions.
yep, just one quick question. How many men are there in the group?
11.
We need about 100. We need about 100 more.
Well, Jesus only gave 11, so
and that's
it
another
worked out
thing.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Well,
and that was
actually-
another thing too.
Actually, we have other people who
Who
want
are
to get
involved?
involved.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you know, we're trying to vet people
Yeah, keep it
and make
tight.
sure we can
Yeah.
slot them in where they can be effective as we're going forward. But we want to be efficient and effective with our time and resources and what we're doing, you know, and then we want to, you know, like I get calls from people, I know they do too, that, hey, man, we like what y'all doing, we want to get involved. We like, hold up, wait a minute, okay, let's, you know, hold back, you know.
Yeah.
So there's other people who
Yeah.
see what we're doing and they want to get involved,
You know,
That's approach.
you know, so.
Yeah,
and another thing we
definitely.
were gonna do
So-
as well.
Big Brothers Big Sisters used to be a great organization in Monroe County, and I was a big sister to a couple young ladies for a while, right after graduation from college, and very beneficial, you know, program, but it's not been around for probably 15, 20 years. And it's something that we desperately need, you know, when we're talking to counselors or on SAT teams with kids, and we're like, what does this kid need? They need a big brother, they need a big sister, you know, they need someone to show them their way and, you know, show them that they can get out of a hard spot. be resilient. So this is going to be really great.
Yeah, as we had discussed, and all 11 of us agreed with it, we have failed to help the next generation of kids. I'm remiss to say that, but it's the honest to God truth.
Especially
We
the
have
boys.
failed to do so.
Especially the boys.
So now,
We turned our back on them.
yeah,
It's our fault.
yeah. And I want to
So-
share that with so many of them.
And they do have another extension of this as well. You guys can see it on the
Ain't
back.
no hood like brotherhood. Do you want me to read it out loud? Go ahead, turn around again. I don't want to get it wrong. Ain't no hood like brotherhood.
And
So
fatherhood.
I did want to mention some things. I'm aware of your organization, and during discipline hearings is where this comes up for us, because we're always like, where can we find resources for these students that come before us? So these are students that are here for, obviously, it's a discipline hearing. By the time it gets to us, it's pretty serious. And so that's how, your organization got brought up in that avenue. So I can definitely, like Carrie, I can definitely see how that's something that we could work with you all to possibly be like a source of helping these kids through anything that we can do. So, fine tuning your programming a little bit, I think would be something that would be beneficial for us. Just kind of get at least a little bit of a nuts and bolts going. And then I know the board would be happy to look at any ways that we could utilize your services to help these kids, because we're all here for the same thing.
That's another great thing about athletes. We love the challenge.
I was an athlete, not an athlete now, but I was,
that?
so I get it.
We love the
Yeah.
challenge.
Well, one of the things, too, as Ike said, we all made mistakes. So, we want to get into the schools and try to work with counselors, administrators, and try to nip some of these issues in the bud before they even come to you. And then we also would like to look at some alternatives in terms of discipline, because I can tell you stories, you see me now and I got to college, but I may not have got to college if all the stuff I did when I was a teenager and in high school, if I didn't get a break. I got breaks from people. So, and I mean, from teachers, principals, police officers, the whole community, I got breaks. I can tell you stories, and if we can come in and talk to the young people, that's what we want to do, and understand their family dynamics and where we can meet them, because one of the officers, and I always remember that, he told me, he said, Rosie, and he stopped me, he said, I knew your family. He said, you were not a bad kid. He said, you was making a bad choice on that day. And he gave me a break.
And that's a good thing. You never forget. Check.
I never forget it, because I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. And had he put some paper on me, okay, that would have been a whole different thing. He had arrested me and said, oh, this kid did da 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 da. But he was like, oh no, we gonna handle this right here, me and you. He said, if I gotta go talk to your parents, because he knew my family, he said, I'll do that. He said, but it was me and a couple other athletes, because we was hanging out. But I never forget the people such as Al Capicilli, took us to Camp Conestoga. Al Capicilli, before he was the mayor here, he was the director of the community center. Okay? The community center that's down there now, he went to Chicago to get the bid from the government to get that building built. That's how much he cared about Monroe and cared about the kids on the east side. And he was a mentor to me, a friend for life. But he did that because he had concern and compassion about people and this community. He loved Monroe. And so do we, like I said. So we have that same compassion that, we want to help out.
I think a way that I see this benefiting us as a school district is restorative practices. So if we could maybe invite some community members to be a part of our restorative practices training, you know, these guys are who I'm thinking about.
Good idea. Good idea, Gary. So we'll be engaging with you really soon here, like in a day or two, okay, to get this back up and moving, and like with then how it can move into some of the things that we're already doing, and then what you guys can do. I know that when we met with the prosecuting attorney a few weeks ago about attendance truancy and launching some program, they've got a program they want to launch at the high school level. And so I think about how that can work. And then Rosie, to your point about alternatives to discipline, what all that kind of means, but it's more about just interacting with the students. And so we'll figure this all out, and so we can get something established alongside you to get this moving.
You know, that's one thing that this board has focused on is trying to do things in a better way. And that's more beneficial to the students, the staff.
Yeah, we've been
Thank you
pretty,
for coming in.
we've been pretty flexible in the discipline hearings, trying to have alternative processes versus just, really penalizing the kids. So we certainly would rather not have them even coming to us. So if we can get you involved before they get to that stage, that would be great.
Less meetings is good, right?
That break comes with the accountability afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to instill.
So a great big thank you for coming in and sharing
Thank you.
tonight, and I'll be in touch with you shortly there.
you for your time.
More than welcome to stick around because we have two more groups going to share what's going on here in our area and how we can best work alongside of them. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
You guys have to be.
I'm warm.
I'm surviving. All right, so our next up is Lisa Jennings.
Graham, sorry.
So,
Lisa Grant.
It's okay. It used to be Lisa Jennings, but
okay, sorry.
it's okay.
Lisa Graham.
I know who I am. That's okay. All right. Thank you all. Thank you. I am Lisa Graham. I'm the CEO for Monroe Community Mental Health Authority. I am also a lifelong Monroe County resident, graduate of Monroe High School in 1989, and graduate of Monroe County Community College before I went over to Eastern. So deep roots here in Monroe County as well. Happy to follow Men on a Mission because I'm so excited about the work they're doing too. A lot of overlap in what we see. So just a little bit about CMH. Most of you know a little bit about us. We have been around for well over 50 years serving the community. We have been the safety net for behavioral health services in Monroe County for many, many years. We provide outpatient mental health, behavioral health treatment to individuals of all ages. Anyone who has a mental illness, a serious emotional disturbance, an intellectual or developmental disability, a substance use disorder, or having any sort of crisis. We are the safety net provider. We have 24/7 crisis services. We have an after-hours phone line. We have a mobile crisis team that operates 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And then we recently, in the fall, we opened behavioral health urgent care, which is one of the very few standalone behavioral health urgent care clinics in the state of Michigan. I think there might only be 3 or 4 others. Last year, we served over 3,000 individuals in our care. One of the things that's a little bit different about us over the last couple years is that we became a CCBHC, which stands for a Certified Community-Based Healthcare Clinic. Prior to that, we were funded only to serve the moderate to severe illnesses, and you had to have Medicaid. So we were limited, and you probably heard, and unfortunately I've heard this a lot of people prior to 2 years ago would say, well, I called mental health, but I couldn't get in. They couldn't do anything for me. I wasn't eligible. And that's because our funding was very specific. With the CCBHC, like I said, now we can serve anyone of any age with any mental illness, whether it's a mild kind of transitional illness that's happening to a long-term very serious mental illness. We can serve all ages, and it doesn't matter if what insurance you have or if you have no insurance. So that has really opened up the floodgates for us in a great way. We're now able to say yes to really almost anyone who comes through our door with a mental illness. So we've been very, very happy to be able to do that, and we've seen our numbers growing over the past couple years. Our mission is to enrich lives and promote wellness. Our vision is more what I like to talk about, and that is one of the reasons I'm here tonight, to be a valued and active partner in an integrated system of care that improves the health and wellness of our community. We know that we cannot do this work by ourselves. School can't do everything by yourself. We need all of the groups that are here tonight working together to create a healthy community and to create a well community. So we are one part of that, but we're really focused on being out in the community anywhere that people will have us to put up our table or to sit around a table with someone that's trying to problem solve these important questions that are and problems that we have going on in the county. At CMH, we provide a number of services. We provide psychiatric services. We provide therapy, case management. We have peer support services. We have nursing services. We provide services that help individuals with disabilities live independently in their own homes. People who need more of the help than that, we have contracts for a number of group homes in the county. We start all the way at infant mental health, helping pregnant women who are at risk of not being able to bond with their new baby because of their mental illness. We get in and we start working with families before the baby even gets here, and we work with people all the way up to whatever age. I think the oldest age I remember working with someone, they were in their 90s. So all of that. We have services in the jail. We have, we do a lot of work with law enforcement, a lot of, we do some work with the schools. Like to do more. There obviously, we each have our own set of rules or regulations and things like that, but I know that we can do a lot more working together. And in fact, we just started a group where we're working with to brainstorm some solutions for individuals with developmental disabilities for what they can do post-education to make sure that they still have the same opportunities to integrate into the community. So a lot of different services that we provide, but the things that you all might be most interested in are our crisis services. Obviously, the ongoing services are important, but actually, we got more referrals when we opened up our behavioral health urgent care last fall. Some of our first referrals came from the school, came from different school teachers, school counselors, and we were really happy to be able to do that. So, like I said, we have our crisis services, which are phone. We have an after-hours phone response. We also do all the assessments for inpatient hospitalization. Our crisis mobile will come right to your home if you're having a mental health or behavioral health problem. We are plain clothes, just a regular vehicle. We don't show up announcing ourselves that we're mental health here at your door at 3 a.m. But that's been really successful. We've been doing that program for about 2 years now. We average around 50 responses or deployments a month. And we're able to, the great thing about Crisis Mobile is not only do we go out and we sit with the family or the person for as long as it takes in person to stabilize the crisis, but then we also follow up. We follow up within 24 to 48 hours later. We follow up a week later. We continue to follow up until the person either says, I'm good, or we feel like the crisis is resolved. So that's been really important. The other thing is the behavioral health urgent care. Like I said, that we opened in the fall, and it's one of the only places in the state where you can go and walk in and get same-day urgent care for a mental health condition or a substance use condition. So you can walk in, we have nurses so that we can do a medical triage, make sure that you're medically cleared, and then we have mental health therapists and psychiatric care available same day. So that's been really very, very helpful. That's located over on the ProMedica property on Colonial Court, they used to be the townhomes, or ProMedica was very, very gracious and partnered with us and gave us that space for next to nothing, which has been amazing. So we're averaging there at our behavioral health urgent care. The last 2 months, we've averaged about 50, 60 people a month walking in there as well. We are open there Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We would love to expand our hours. We're just right now in the early stages of seeing what our volume is and what our capacity. You can understand, I'm sure, that we'd love to be 24/7, but that gets really expensive to have a psychiatrist on call 24/7, things like that. So right now, 11 to 7 is working out pretty well for us. And so that's a place where you can refer people who might be having problems. One of the things that I like about behavioral health urgent care, I think sometimes people feel like, oh, I don't want to walk in over at Raisinville Road, the main building. I'm not that sick, or my problem isn't that bad. I don't need that kind of long-term help. And maybe that seems a little more like a permanent, whereas an urgent care is kind of like, okay, I'm having this issue today. I'm going to go in, get it taken care of. You're not, some people might not be ready to engage in a long-term treatment, but at least we can see them, welcome them. Hopefully they have a really good experience, and then that leads them to come back if they need. And then we can continue to try to engage people to stay in treatment. You can access care through us, whether it's at our Raisinville Road location or our location at the Behavioral Health Urgent Care. We have walk-in, same-day access. So you can make an appointment. If you want to schedule an appointment, you can call and schedule an appointment. But if you want to just walk in, you can do that as well. And we can see people same day. We do also virtual and telehealth appointments. I'm kind of old school. I prefer face-to-face in person, but the state of Michigan does allow, and Medicaid allows us to use telehealth, and that is helpful for some people. So if people prefer that, they can do that. We also can come to you either through our mobile crisis, or our case managers will go right out to a person's home to meet them in their home and provide their treatment in the home if that works best too. We provide bus tickets if you live on the bus route. We really want to try to break down any barriers that people have to coming in and getting care with us. I could probably keep talking a lot about everything we do. I'll just close by saying kind of how can we collaborate together. I always tell everybody, remind everybody that you know who may be eligible for Medicaid to maintain their Medicaid status. Many people don't understand we are funded at Community Mental Health based on the number of Medicaid eligible people in the county. So when the number of Medicaid eligibles goes down, our funding goes down. We're expecting in fiscal year 27 to see a decrease because we know that with the federal legislation, the number of people who are going to be eligible for Medicaid is going to be reduced. And even those who are Medicaid eligible having to recertify more frequently, we know that people are going to fall off. And so we are expecting that we are going to lose funding in fiscal year 27. So if people are eligible for Medicaid, remind them that that's an important benefit. We also help people. We have somebody that's employed in our building that can help people get eligible for Medicaid when they come in. So that's really great. As simple as it might sound, go to our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, share our posts about mental health or what we're doing in the county, share our posts about behavioral health urgent care. That really does help a lot to get the word out. A lot of people still don't know about the behavioral health urgent care, and it's a great resource that we have here. And then if you go to our website, which is www.monroecmha.org, we have so many resources, downloadable flyers, rat cards, brochures, lots of different information that I think you guys would find really helpful, and your staff and your teams might find really helpful.
Knew a little bit, but now we know a lot. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to ask just one question. I'm going to be done. Is how in the world are you handling 50 responses a month for the 24/7 crisis services and then another 50 to 60 for the urgent care?
Yeah, I mean, they're two different teams. They're both located out of the Behavioral Health Urgent Care building over on Colonial, but we have a team for going out and doing the crisis mobile, and then we have another core team that's there for the behavioral health urgent care. We are so happy to get that volume, and we just want to keep seeing more because we know the need is out there. And it's also so great because it also helps free up like emergency rooms where people don't really need to be in an emergency room for, not always. In fact, most of the time, we can handle it outside of an emergency room. So helping to prevent people from going and sitting in an ER, helping to prevent people from maybe being hospitalized with, there are alternatives to hospitalization. Not everybody who's having a crisis or even an emergent situation needs to be in the hospital. Often we can do a lot of safety planning and crisis planning and really wrap around people with the supports that we have in place so that we can avoid that kind of thing.
Thank you.
How many psychiatrists do you have?
I think right now at last count we have 9, but
Okay.
they are, some are only, give us 8 hours a week, some give us 40 hours a week. So we have contracts with I think about 9 different psychiatrists for various number of hours per week. Some are, we like to always have at least one in person in the building every day, but we do have a lot of virtual. It's kind of where the industry is now, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to view that. But we have a number of child psychiatrists. And great news, we got a lot of feedback that parents wanted a child doc in the building. They wanted to be face-to-face. They didn't want to do telehealth. And so it's difficult, but we were able to, and we have a great doctor who does telehealth, but she is, our doc who does telehealth is in Puerto Rico. So she can't make it into the office. But we were able to find a doc who was willing to and wanted to come and work in our building. And then we also have heard from parents that they want hours for the child psychiatrist outside after school hours. And so we've been working to find docs who can work later into the evening so parents don't have to take their kids out of school to make those appointments.
So one of the things is we're looking at what can we do and how can we link together. I think the behavioral urgent care is probably one of the greatest resources, along with the crisis mobile, like you said, to link us with you guys and letting people know about these services. Because as Carrie had mentioned in the last presentation about some of the needs we have, some of those needs are urgent, and sometimes people just don't realize that that exists. You know, like you say, going to the emergency room is not always the most conducive, but going to an urgent care can cut down the time and cut down everything associated with it. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking part of the PBIS team, I think that's what you mentioned, may be beneficial to get with those, that team to see how there can be a system there that works with that. Just so people know, there may be a cost associated with that, right? The behavioral clinic.
The behavioral health urgent care, if you have no insurance or we do have a sliding fee scale. We try to work with people and but we're never going to turn anyone away because
Yeah.
they can't pay. So we do a lot of just working with folks to make it affordable. And if it's not affordable, then we still want to serve you. We don't want to say no to anybody. So I hope that won't be a barrier to anyone. Don't let cost be the barrier to coming and getting care because we're not going to say no based on that.
And I think that's important for people to know, because even though there may be a cost associated with it, that you guys work with that and it won't be a problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sorry.
Oh,
The oth-
keep
I was
going.
just going to say, the other thing is, we do serve people who are students in Monroe Public Schools. And maybe one of the other things that we could do, working together, is to figure out kind of, do people want CMH to come into, we have a lot of that overlap. So I think working together with how are we going to collaborate on those students and where they're getting their care and treatment and how much we can be involved and how much you all can be involved. And I really we try to encourage families to let us work with the schools. Let us know what's going on because we can give you better care and treatment when we can approach it from all the systems.
I think one of the things that we're going to take away from tonight is we're going to take everything that anybody's given us and kind of put it together, and Andy will be doing that as well, to say, okay, what does the next step look like and what can we do? Because, we're getting a lot of information, we're getting a lot of feedback and ways that can work, and we're just throwing out things, but I'm sure there will be a way that these needs can be met with all of your groups.
Well, one of them would be is that we have Wendy with us tonight, and so in our, one of our next couple of communications that goes out, so we have our weekend review, that's a communication goes out each week, is we'll be highlighting the 3 groups that are here tonight, and so we're gonna get more information from each of you, so that, because it
Great.
goes out to all of our families, so. Well done.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Lauren, are you ready for this? I mean, yeah, so, right now we have, Lauren Hannes.
I got you. It's
I
all right.
appreciate that.
Let me.
So she's gonna throw on a little presentation, and then, Lauren, do you have anyone you wanna, kind of introduce tonight that might be with you?
Sure, if I can get this to plug in here. I have Melissa Strong here with me. She is the court administrator for Monroe County, as well as Jared Hale. He runs, so the ESS program has 2 different campuses, and he has the campus at the Monroe Church of the Nazarene that primarily serves Monroe Public Schools, as well as a few other schools in the county. So like all of your presenters tonight, actually, I am a Monroe High graduate as well. So I guess we got a theme going tonight. But I am happy to be here and meet all of you and let you know a bit more about the ESS program and how we can continue to serve the kids in our community. So I am the director of community-based programs in the county, as well as one of the creators of the ESS program. It was a vision and a dream of mine, as well as some of my coworkers, for a while, to build programs for the community that were true diversion, community-based program for the kids and the families that were at risk and needed extra help. In 2021, we were lucky enough to start the ESS program and finally get that off the ground and running. And a few years after that, actually, changes to legislation made the state of Michigan incentivize the courts to continue to build diversion community-based programming. So that being said, Monroe County, as well as Monroe Public Schools, is ahead of the game in getting those programs up and running, and that's something to be extremely proud of. So what is the ESS program? So ESS stands for Enhancing Strengths and Supports, and honestly, that is exactly what this program is designed to do. It is a community-based educational and behavioral support program that is designed to target at-risk youth in the community who most of the time are between the ages of 11 and 14 and in 5th through 8th grade. It's a voluntary program that is fully funded by the Monroe County Family Court, and it is offered to students and families who meet admission criteria to becoming more at risk with the juvenile justice system. So the main objectives of the program are to increase students' investment in school, improve student social skills, and assist students in developing healthy coping mechanisms. So our main referral source has been Monroe Public Schools and other schools in the community, as well as we receive applications or referrals from Community Mental Health and Monroe County Court as well. So students have to meet at least 2 criteria out of 5 to be considered eligible for the program. And those criteria are the student has had informal juvenile court involvement, they are receiving mental health services through a community provider or have mental health diagnoses, The student has had chronic truancy or disciplinary issues. The student's family has had contact with police in the past 8 months, or there is evidence of substance abuse, domestic violence, or lack of basic needs in the home. And while they have to have 2 factors to be considered for the program, many have 3 or 4. This just shows you how many of our students have each risk factor. At this time, we have served over 100 families in the program so far.
From Monroe or from all?
For Monroe County, 100 Monroe County families
Since 21 or?
since 2021. One of the tools that we use when a student enters the program to be able to individualize their case plan is we use the JIF assessment, and this covers 10 different life areas, allowing us to learn more about the student's strengths while identifying areas of concern as well. Higher scores represent an increased level of concern, while lower scores represent student strengths. From the start of the program to the end of this last year in 2025, the data has shown that if we look at their initial average score and compare it to just 30 days in the program, their average scores have decreased in 9 out of the 10 domains. So what types of programming are provided by ESS? One-on-one assistance with schoolwork, social emotional learning, life skill activities, access to anger management or substance abuse counseling, access to community mental health assessments, community experience activities and behavioral earned incentives, weekly communication with families regarding student progress, and detailed progress and transitional reports are provided to families and schools. So let's talk a bit about how we measure student progress and how they transition through the program. So goals for each student are based off of those initial JIF scores, as well as input from the school and parent. Student progress is evaluated at the end of each marking period, and progress is determined by a student meeting their target goal at least 60% of the time over that last marking period. And then once a student has demonstrated that 60% progress towards their goal, a mutually agreed upon transition plan is made. For most students, the plan involves initially them being in the ESS program for a full day. And then after they've met that 60% progress goal, moving to a half day so that half of their classes are in their home school and then half of the day is with ESS. And if a student continues to meet those target goals on that half day plan, then we transition them out of the program and graduate them from the program. However, we do have a second location now, which is inside Airport Community Schools at Wagner Middle School. This has been amazing, honestly. I really thought that it would really just allow us to case plan for them on a more individual basis, and it really truly has. This is partially because when so much transportation is involved and we are picking so for the church location, we pick the kids up daily and we drive them there and then we take them home at the end of the day. If they're on a half-day plan, we drop them off at, Monroe Middle School or Cantrick halfway through the day. Or we're picking them up halfway through the day and bringing them back. So when we think about what is setting this kid up for the most success and we're looking at their daily schedule, sometimes because of transportation, we have to limit that to the first half of the day or the second half of the day. But when I look at my Wagner Middle School campus, I get to look at each kid and say, where is this kid showing some strengths? Where are they benefiting the most in their day? And for some kids, it might be a relationship with their English teacher or their band class or Megatronics that they're very into, or it could be that the classes that are going well for them are the ones that they have the extra help, the intervention specialists working with them. And to be able to continue to utilize the things that are going well for them at school, but then support them in the other areas where they really need some help, has been awesome to see. There's been times that the schools tell us all the time how much progress they see in those students, but these students are still continuing to grow. So there are going to be days where they struggle more. And it has been so amazing to physically be there and be there on campus on those days that are harder than others, or those moments where they are tested and they know their coping skills and we've practiced them quite a bit, but we're really losing sight of it that day for us to physically be there for them to know exactly what classroom that they can go to. And honestly, to have more communication with teachers. While we provide transition plans with the school and progress, and we talk about those case plans in depth, the fact that we are there to have real-time conversation about the things that went wrong in the classroom has been amazing. The reason why we are so successful in the ESS program is because this is a relational program. We spend so much time getting to know the kids and talking them through situations at home and at school and everywhere else that we get the opportunity to get to know these kids at a much more, personal basis. And part of that is because the staff to student ratio. And we communicate regularly with parents, and parents text me on my work phone probably daily, giving me reports about good things that they saw at home, something they couldn't believe that their kid did last night without asking, or a situation that they worked through last night, or right away in the morning they will let me know that something happened last night and the details of it, and that they're trying to work through it. And the fact that we have so much communication lets us work through these things with the students on such a more individualized, in-depth basis. So it has been going great, and I've really enjoyed it so far.
So you mentioned, what is that student to staff ratio that you're trying to work at? Both locations.
At both locations, I would say right now we're at about a 2-to-1, like two students to one staff. Not all the students obviously need help the entire time. Some need more than others, or at times more than others, but it's meant to be very intentional. I tell school all the time, like, I am not guaranteeing you that I'm going to send you this A student back. Of course they're going to get better grades with us. Who doesn't get better grades when they're sitting down getting help one-on-one, right? Who's not going to understand a concept better? Of course. But what I'm telling you is that you're going to see a difference in the way that they carry themselves, that they're able to talk through things, that they are able to express themselves appropriately, that you've watched them grow as an individual, that they're actually coming to school now, because guess what? You get better grades if you actually come to school, right? Some of those things that are going on at home that may not make it all the way to you guys, that we're able to put them in contact with some community resources to start making them show up every day.
Thank you.
Is there a cost to Wagar for you to be on their campus?
Nope, they've just provided us with the classroom, and then they continue to provide us with the same resources that they always had, meaning they provide each student with their Chromebook. They provide the educational platform that we utilize alongside with you guys. For Monroe, it's Edmentum. So we continue to work as a team. But other than that, everything that we said has been provided in the program is provided by the county.
I guess I'm a little curious. Like I asked the others, what is it we can do for you? You want a space on one of our campuses?
I would love a space on one of your guys'
Okay,
campuses.
that's a question.
I mean, we work with Monroe Middle and Cantrick Middle School and have a really good relationship with them. And while I'm very proud of the program, and I stand and say that I feel like I know we have helped so many Monroe Public students in some amazing ways. I know that if we're directly on campus, we can better serve them and we can help some of those relationships get stronger at school. Because at the end of the day, while we are trying to take them into our program and wrap them up in supports and services, the idea is so that they are more successful in your school and that they can carry some of that stuff over into other aspects of their life. So if I don't have to take them out of your building, why would I ever?
Roughly how many Monroe Public School students are you currently working with?
9.
9? Is it mostly 5, 6, or more middle school?
We're about half and half right now.
Pretty half and half?
I would say. We, and the Wagger Middle School, I have it capped at 10 students at the moment. They're supposed to be building onto their school and providing us some additional space, which will change that. But for now, with the size and the area they gave us, we're serving 10 there. So it's doubled us, which has been amazing.
I know that through the discipline process here and some of those other alternative things that we've looked at trying to provide, I know that we've utilized your services as an avenue for that. And so we're happy that it was there. I remember when I first found out about it, I was like, yay, So we definitely, appreciate that. My other question is for Melissa and them. Do you have any other things from youth services that may be beneficial for us as the board to know that we can help with? Or I know it's been a while coming here, so I would take a chance.
I was just gonna say, Lauren is just amazing, and her team and Jared running the program out at the school. That's really the court's shining star, and that's why when Dr. Shaw made a call to me, I said, well, you don't need to hear from me, but you need to hear from Lauren, because it is the most impactful thing that the court, I think, is doing from directly with the schools, right? And so, I started to lean forward because we were really concerned, and we took, frankly, a lot of heat when we developed this program, in the beginning, and said, how about if we, the court, pay for staff to go to these schools and solve school problems that are school problems, not the court's problems? Why are we taking on that responsibility? But Lauren and I, many of you might know that I used to be the director of the youth center, and now I'm down at the court, and we used to sit around in my office, and we had this vision for many years of, if we could embed ourselves before the kids got a formal petition through the prosecutor's office and through the juvenile court, that we thought we would be pretty successful at handling diversion in that way, and it has been. So, the really long way to answer your question is, sure, juvenile court is always there as a resource for the schools, but by the time we've got a formal petition, the court is responding, right, to petitions that the prosecutor has filed, and they expect action to happen on that. The good news, from the court's perspective specifically, is that we are working with the prosecutor's office and the jurists themselves to divert kids even after a formal petition has been received. So 75, I'm working on my annual report right now, but we're diverting some 75 to 80% of the petitions that we're getting. And when I started, when I came from the youth center down to the court, we had recognized that that was something that we weren't utilizing enough, diversion. So, for example, 5 years ago, if a kid got a domestic violence offense or something seemingly more serious, even some of your school threat, a lot of your school threat petitions that have come through as formal petitions have ultimately been diverted by the court. And we're really proud of that and we're really proud of you folks as leaders in our community and schools, because you've seen those kids and you've seen some little squirt kid who, wrote some stupid thing on the bathroom wall, and you had the choice as educators to take this path under a lot of media and, parental,
Concern.
thank you. Thank you. It's late in the day. My brain
good.
turns off at about 3:30.
You're good.
Yeah, a lot in the court too. The court took a lot of pressure from that too, and we were a little scared to be honest, to start diverting some of those cases. And guess what? That has really panned out well. And so I guess that's my long way of saying what the court is doing with petitions and so forth. But we would love to have Lauren and her program embedded in every school. The last time she came before the Board of Commissioners to present issues, we asked for another supervisor for the Wager campus. And they said, sure. And one of the commissioners is like, yeah, only if you show up in Bedford and come down and put a campus there. But it has doubled our capacity. The problem with a 2-to-1 ratio of student to staff is that that's not sustainable, unless we are embedded in everybody's school. That does make the transportation issue. I mean, we've had to buy Lauren a fleet of cars just to, schlep these kids all over the county. It's a big county geographically. So, so that would be a really great way for you to support, a program like this.
We also try to get the kids involved in obviously as much, positive pro-social things that we can. So we want to keep kids in clubs and on teams. Yeah. And we've been able to do so as long as they're eligible to do so. But sometimes we pick up a kid in the morning, we have them here for, they'd be at school for a half day, and then we'd bring them back to ESS, and then we have to turn around and get them to practice or get them there for this time of the day for X, Y, and Z, and just to
You guys
really
could help
cut out
us.
I was gonna say, y'all need to talk to
You
them.
guys could help us, and believe me,
I see a little team going on here.
When you cut out transportation, those kind of logistics, it just opens so many doors for the kids and so many different relationships. And
we are, for example, I'm not kidding about that, but RSVP does a program for me at the court for guardianships and so forth. But we have contacted them to, and we do all the things that you guys do for your concern in terms of the liability and the releases and all the things that are all the barriers to reasons why we can't do that. ESS has all the, all of those things worked out. And RSVP is signed on to just drive kids around if we need them. We haven't
said they would take a kid, like even things
to
like regular
practice or whatever.
transportation, but they'll pick a kid up and take them to a counseling appointment if I needed them to, or to practice, or to their game on the weekend. it's been awesome to continue to build these community partners to make more and more things happen for the kids.
You've definitely pointed out the points, how it would be more beneficial for it to be located where the students are. I think you really covered that, so thank you for that.
I think Wagger has to pay for the food. Right?
Yeah, they provide
feed 'em.
lunch, but you
They
guys
feed
do
'em.
that anyways. There's nothing extra. I love our relationship with Monroe Public Schools. At the end of the day, if we keep that up, I can still keep doing my thing, but, you know, I'm always trying to look at what more can we do, right?
Sure.
That's why you're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So a great big thank you to all of you tonight. We'll be reaching out.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
question. So as far as logistics, you know, what would that look like if most of our students that we do send to ESS are suspended or expelled?
We're working on a plan for you on that.
Yeah.
We got ideas.
Okay.
Right, David?
And do you have a bus or a van, or you just have a fleet of cars?
I have a van, a 15 passenger van. I
Wow.
have a Fusion and I have a Dodge Journey. At the moment, we've had some crazy routes, especially because at times we've been picking
We've got other options.
kids up
Okay.
all the way in the Lost
facilities, too.
Peninsula.
Yeah.
Right, right, yeah. Gotta
we
go
have
through
a
Ohio to get 'em.
Whiteford student now,
Oh,
so
well,
it's,
good.
we get them there, but, I really do love the relationship that we have with the church, and we offer programming all year round, even through the summer. I try to make summer more like a summer camp, 'cause yes, while we're practicing skills and keeping their minds fresh, I like them to enjoy their summers as well. We take them fishing a lot, try to teach them a lot of life skills. We got an awesome campground and we go fishing at. That's besides the point.
I think you all are going to be friends by the time you leave here.
Anyways, I think that there are some opportunities that could be discussed for a student that needed to be off campus.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have another comment. Is there an age group that Men on a Mission want to concentrate on?
I didn't hear the question.
An age group?
The age group.
Okay.
For you guys, your age group that you're focusing on right now, I think was 5th or 6th grade through 12th grade, correct?
So there's a crossover there.
Yep. So again, thank you all for coming tonight. You're more than welcome to stay as we talk over our strategic plan, or you can exit. But we will be back in touch with you. We've got lots of notes, and my team has all of this down. And thank you for smiling because you were on camera tonight.
Do you want photos of our guests or whatever research?
Nope, we're gonna take care of that here after this is all done, when we bring other opportunities. Nope, we are gonna get photos up.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Tell them in advance if you're taking their picture.
All right, so now we're gonna move into the strategic plan. Dave, if you wanna throw it up on the big screen, please. Oh, while he's bringing that up, we did have one question. I just want to take care of this very quickly on Care Solace. So Care Solace is a program that we have, as a county, we've been using, and it's a linkage between students, our families, staff members, and organizations in our area. This year, from July 1st to now, we have had a total of 266 inbound transactions, and they define that as phone calls, emails, video chats with community members. Communications saved is 1,900. Warm handoff. So that's, for example, warm handoff is myself making a phone call on behalf of a student and or a family member. 53. And so the total number of total appointments into care is 16. And so then they had, like they said in here, 17 anonymous searches.
Do you know how many of those are duplicate services? Because you always
What do
have
you
to
mean,
count
duplicate
duplicates.
services?
So it could be servicing the same student for
Multiple times.
multiple times. So that's what like Lisa and them calculated as
Yeah,
duplicates.
and on their dashboard, that's,
Yeah, because those calls could be the same person calling in.
well, and that's exactly, so when they say communication saved, that is them receiving a phone call, like a warm handoff, but then trying to get back in, so I've said, okay, I need you to talk to Gary's family, and so that's 5 phone calls to Gary's family, and then they finally get Gary's family on the phone, and now they're trying to get Gary lined up with a service, so that they count all the times that there's an interaction, either on Gary's behalf or with Gary.
Can we get this information in board brief?
Yeah, I'll put this in a board brief. Yep.
And I'm glad you brought that up because you put that company's thing in the strategic plan. And that's probably, because it's a 5-year plan, I would suggest that you not list a program like that in there just because.
So we're gonna go through the strategic
Yeah, I
plan
just
page by
bringing it up
page.
because you
and-
brought it up.
Yep, and we'll get right there with it. So, all right. Now, if you go to, I thought there was a screen.
Can we congratulate Wendy first?
Yeah.
Wendy,
Great job.
it's amazing.
This
Like, you do beautiful work. It's very beautiful. Good job.
Way to go. Yes,
We've said that like 20 times without you being here, so I thought I'd tell you why you were here.
yep,
That smile says that we watered the flower very nicely.
yeah.
Oh, it's
It was
true.
good to hear good things from you.
So the goal of tonight as we go through is to make it so that when we're done, we can make any corrections and we can publish this thing, okay? So what you have in your hands is the culmination of all the materials. Understand that what will be also presented to you, though, twice a year is how are we doing on meeting our goals? And so in July, we're going to have a whole bunch of data points. And so we'll bring forward probably be like, my guess is a 2-page data table. They'll show like each goal, how we've done to achieve it, because that's iReady will be in there. We'll have a lot of other data points. And then in September, we'll repeat it because that's when the M-STEP, SAT, and all those results will come out. So twice a year, you will get an update on how we're doing on meeting the goals that are inside the strategic plan. And so that'll be just a separate twice a year document that is provided to you, published to the community also. So we're going to just hop right in. I was appreciative we did have a couple, I had some assistance right here on the superintendent's message, so we've made some repairs there. Yes, if you want a different picture, we can always align that to, for example, I'm not sure if Mary will be with us tomorrow night or not when I read her email, but if we said, okay, on this date, everyone comes in dressed to how you want to be pictured, we can swap out a picture, okay?
5 years.
So with that,
But thank you, Wendy. I'm sure you chose the best that there was.
yeah.
We had a wonderful photo from graduation, but Brian joined us after that, so that one wasn't.
We should have just left Brian out of it.
No, we wanted to-
Well, and we could have photoshopped, but that wouldn't have been appropriate either, so.
AI generated images are more than.
It is a big hit today.
Go ahead, go ahead. I thought it looked a lot better with AI generated.
So as we move forward, we have our strategic planning committee. We want to make sure we highlighted them. A big thank you to that strategic planning committee and the work that they did to help bring this plan together. Another milestone was our vision, mission, values, that page. And so we unlocked all that information. It's very, I appreciate the work was done here because it's very student focused. And I truly appreciate that part. Monroe at a glance. This is just a page here to give everyone an idea of what Monroe is, what we look like. Okay, and so that's how this page came about, just for it's informational.
I like the way it's laid out. It's easy to read. It's easy to look at.
Yes.
It's very easy to pick out the data, and I thought that was very
When
effective.
when we saw other plans, it was really jumbled up, and like we can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can we get a definition of 65% students in poverty? I would suggest an asterisk.
Yeah.
What you're claiming that level to be?
Yep. So
Because a lot of people have that question.
yeah, we'll put that on there. It wasn't that's not generated by us. That's generated by the government.
That's fine.
We'll put that on there.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where they pulled the data from.
Yeah.
Yep.
It probably is. but
Yep. No,
Yeah,
we'll pull that.
income is probably based on income.
Yep,
I'm
we
assuming.
will, but I appreciate that because that bring that clarity.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Yep. And then on our next page, so when Wendy dove into, let me back up. Hanover Research gave us a document that we could have just used. It didn't have the right colors on it, but it's one we could have used. So then Wendy was tasked with, all right, we want to take what they provided us and So then, next thing I know, next day, she's like, hey, I dove into, what was the name of that site you go to?
NSPRA, which is National School Public Relations Association, has school communicator, and I looked at the last couple of years, some of the award-winning publications to get some ideas of some things they've done.
Yep.
So.
And so on this page right here was a very a page that just could jump out, and it brings to light the size of Monroe Public Schools. Okay, and I think that's, we wanted to highlight that geographically, and then, when we think about the 4,400 students we serve and the locations, and then we think about the 1,000 employees, we think about all this stuff. It's a large system.
It's even interesting to look at the boundary lines.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? It's not like you go this way and it's like, do.
You know what really is horrible?
Right. I'm like, great.
All of these kids go to 5-6.
Yeah. What?
Is that Ida?
It's that item.
You know, right here since the high school, it's like, if we could figure out how to trade off an area, for example, like that area goes to Ida and this area comes back to us, that'd be kind of, from a transportation side, wonderful. You think about students that live here, and literally a mile away is Monroe High School.
Yeah.
What is it, a 7-mile drive over to
I never
Ida High
would have,
School?
I never would have
Yeah.
looked at, realized that until you did that.
That's been historically like that.
It has. Everything got gerrymandered a long time ago
Yeah.
based on families and
It's not done.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Well,
that's not just Ravenville,
no.
it's like all the middle school kids and
Yeah.
high school kids.
Yep.
5, 6 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you go south, I mean, literally, we're down there on Kelly Road,
Oh, yeah.
right next to almost or Mason Consolidated Schools.
Oh, yeah, it's right
Yeah.
down.
Not far at all there, so we taken
That's
a
probably
big,
closer to get to that school than
it is, in
up
that
there.
spot right there.
Only 'cause we play baseball down there.
Yep. The strategic planning process, so this was just a page that Hanover helped us with, just they wanted to call out what the process was that we went through, and putting our plan together. And then we got into the preparation of fall 24 research that was conducted in the spring and summer, the drafting that we went through. And so again, that's just all process oriented there. Then we get into the plan. And this is the, when we dive right in here on page 10. And so we're going to go right through here. Priority 1, high quality instruction. Aim 1A, increase levels of proficiency on national, state, and district assessments across all grades and student groups. So our goals are grade 11 SAT, math, and ELA. Proficiency will increase by 3 to 5 percentage points annually. Grades 8, 9, 10, PSAT, math, and ELA proficiency will increase 3 to 5 percentage points annually. Grades 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, M-STEP math and ELA proficiency will increase 3 to 5 percentage points annually. Grades 5, 8, 11, M-STEP science and social studies proficiency will increase 3 to 5 percentage points annually. And K-8I ready math and ELA proficiency will increase 5 to 7 percentage points annually. Action steps that will be taken for us to achieve that are provide targeted teacher professional development, implement new ELA math curriculum and related supports, ensure regularly scheduled data studies using the collaborative learning cycle process, implement evidence-based practices to support Tier 1 instruction and MTSS process, PLC, and then lastly, PLC framework within the collaborative learning cycle. Is there any questions on priority 1, aim 1A?
Yeah, I was looking at that and the word of the use of implement. So when that reads, it looks like we're going to implement a new ELA and a new math, of which we've already done. So the fact that we're not implementing a new one, like right now, we just got them. So wouldn't it be to I don't know.
So, but it is,
Well, we already
well,
have.
we've adopted, so the
This
implementation.
makes it look like we're going to start with a new one and we're not.
But your implementation, if you think about it, it's not a single year implementation, it's an ongoing.
But it says implement a new.
Well, we haven't technically implemented all of our new math, and even our K-5 into reading isn't really
Yeah, that,
implemented
next
yet.
fall is a full implementation.
Like next year is year
That's-
one.
Yeah.
Looking
We
at
have many
6,
grade
8
levels doing
ELA,
it, But not
Even
all.
the ELA, we've only done K through what?
but K4 isn't really implemented. It's not year one, it's year zero. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of the teachers decided to pilot it, they wanted to hurry up and take it on.
Yep. And so.
That
all
was
of-
my thing with
Yep.
that. It made it look like it was something new.
Unless
that-
you say continue implementation,
That would make
with
sense.
through, going
Right.
through the process.
What if we said implement the plan?
Huh?
Implement the plan for new
It's
ELA?
just not new. I mean, it makes it sound like we've just brought on something new. And I get it, it may not be through everywhere yet, but I agree with that, implement.
Or continued implementation of
Yeah,
the newly adopted.
Yeah.
yeah, something like that, just not to make it look like we're, okay, what was the new thing you started this year? And we didn't,
You'd say like
yeah,
when they were when they.
yeah.
We will actually, so what we're gonna do is we'll add in there, continuing implementation of ELA, of adopted, we're gonna put a date in there.
Okay.
For both the ELA and the math, so we'll add in language in there that just talks
Because
about.
this is years from now, so we know what it
That way
was.
then too, when we look back on it, what year did we implement or adopt the ELA materials?
Yeah.
Here, we will put it at grade level, but then there will be potentially another check mark though, because we have other grade levels on the ELA side that
Yeah.
haven't been, okay? So we'll have to look at, obviously, I think exploring.
years would be most valuable to people.
Yep.
Know the years.
Yep.
Years.
Yep.
Other than that, it
Yep.
doesn't matter whatever
Yep.
implementation, continued implementation, adoption.
Yep,
those
we'll,
don't matter.
we're not gonna, I guarantee it's not gonna be, we're not gonna overburden it with a lot of words. I'll be clean and clear.
Well, because
Yep.
in 2030,
Hey,
when
how
we look
fresh are
at this, we
they? How
say,
fresh are they?
Yeah. Yep,
I'll still be sitting in this seat, we'll be going over it still.
we can fix that.
The other thing was, I just want to make note of this, because I realized when we went over these before, we looked at aims and goals. We really didn't dig into the strategies and actions and stuff too much. So I didn't look at it. I just reviewed it now for any redundancies or whatnot. The implement evidence-based policies to support tour run and what, number one, you already do that. I just want to make note of that language is used at least one, if not two more times throughout the plan.
Yes.
And I just want to make note
Yep.
if you knew that was going on,
We
and
did.
that was.
And it
Because there's
has
a
to do-
lot of repeats in the actions and strategies and
Yeah,
stuff.
because in some of them, we look at, when we want to reduce the amount, for example, like in two coming up, it's reduce the amount of red. Well, you're gonna do some of the exact same strategies.
So I would do the same thing with that one that we did with the other one. Let's not look like it's, you know what I mean, something we're gonna implement. It's already done. You've done this tier one instruction through the
Well,
multi-tiered
but we,
system of support for a
but
couple of
that's,
years now.
but our argument is that's where we actually need to do the most work in our district is tier one.
No, I'm suggesting that. Again, you're using the implementation part of it again. We're gonna implement something. You've been already doing
Yeah,
that.
I think it's
I see what
the
you,
same
You've already been
language
doing
over,
that.
continued use.
yeah.
Yeah,
got it,
Evidence-based
Okay.
practices.
that was it.
got it.
Remember, we're not taking any more swipes of this thing after tonight.
Yeah.
We're already starting backwards here again.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because
More
we never,
swipes.
but we
No more
never,
swipes.
we never looked
Well-
at the
I understand,
actions,
that's why I
yeah.
said after tonight, no more swipes.
All right, priority one, high quality instruction, aim, 1B, increased number of students demonstrating growth toward grade level proficiency in ELA and math. The percentage of students, the goal is the percentage of students performing one or more grade levels below expectations on K-8 iReady reading and math will decrease by 5 percentage points annually. Provide targeted teacher professional development, implement new ELA, so we'll fix that. Ensure regularly scheduled data studies using the collaborative learning cycle, we'll fix that one. And then PLC framework. So yes, because they're two very similar goals, the strategy will be very similar there.
So just so you know, on the copy that we had before this, the word was strengthen evidence-based practices. And then you switched it to implement,
Yeah.
just to notes to self.
Since I said we could take one more swipe at this thing, the only thing I would,
These
I
are
would
easy
say
fixes.
is the use of acronyms, that
Oh,
people don't know anything about.
spell out.
So MTSS, I know
Yeah.
nothing about that.
Maybe we need a vocabulary page, like.
Yeah.
Could be. That's not-
Yeah.
Oh,
Well-
did you fit that in?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Glossary at the
Not
end.
a bad idea.
see some
Yeah.
Yeah.
models that have a glossary page at the back.
Yeah,
so
I think
Yep.
that's the best
I
thing.
don't know if that's what our time frame is. if we can-
We got time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna,
Cindy, the way you're working.
no, we'll put
Every
the,
once in a while.
Okay.
we'll put a glossary together, because we
Definitions.
really want this, when it's done, we're not coming back and rewriting this. Okay, this
I
document
agree.
is held tight, and we know this, and we live it, okay?
I spent so much
He's
time-
right about those imagine.
I appreciate that. When you're keeping good notes?
Say-
has acronyms.
Great.
Yeah, but that way, yeah, good point.
Aim 1C, increase teacher ability to deliver high-quality instruction. Create a K-12 comprehensive professional development plan by August 1 for ELA and math, aligning to findings from a teacher needs assessment.
So when we put that in there by August 1.
Yep,
Can we put the year?
that's annually.
So that's an.
That's an annual.
Yeah.
No,
So why don't
that-
you say annually? So that everybody knows each year on August 1st, you're gonna
Yeah,
be doing that.
comprehensive annual.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's there. Yep, that's an annual one. And then 100% of K-12 classroom teachers will receive at least one session per month of professional development focused on small group instruction, intervention, and/or their assigned subject matter and standards to improve teacher knowledge, skills, practices. And then action steps here. We do need a survey and interview with teachers, align PD plan to outcome data and teachers' needs, ensure individualized support via new teacher mentor liaisons, guarantee full teacher participation in school improvement coaching cycle, and implement
That's the-
evidence-based, yep,
That's the one you already used.
got it, thank you.
And the other thing was the, but again, it's an exact same action step of the one before, but the new teacher mentor liaisons, is that different from the teacher academy? Like, I wasn't sure how that was different than academies, because there's a lot of
Yep.
discussion throughout this about professional development, this person doing this, them being involved in this and that. Me, I'm just like,
We refer to those
Yeah.
as NTMLs
Yep.
as well. Those are NTMLs.
So,
what's that?
you want to take?
Teacher mentor liaison.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. So there is a difference. David, you want to share the difference?
Carrie,
please?
I'm going to defer to my protege over there. Or she's not my, I'm her protege. I'm hers, my partner
I think
over
she was
there.
here before you.
She was, that's what I meant.
That's a bold.
Stand corrected. Go ahead, Terry.
Your mentor.
So the new teacher mentor liaisons, they are retired teachers who come back and work with new teachers one-on-one individually or in small groups. So that's kind of like some more individualized support on basic classroom management types of skills. They go and observe in those classrooms and see if the teacher needs help with getting kids to line up, to organize their supplies, to follow directions, and then offer support.
So what is their position? Like, they have to be hired.
Correct.
And so what would their position be considered in our staffing report? Because I don't ever remember seeing that in there.
They are funded with Title IV,
Title 2A.
Title IIA.
And 31A.
So how are they categorized in our staffing paperwork?
I would have to look at Mrs. Flynn's spreadsheet to see where they are at within that.
Yeah, because I think I have that memorized.
Yeah.
And I don't see that in there anywhere. I'm not joking, but yeah.
Yeah,
I would have to look to see what she's termed them as,
Okay.
but I can make a
But the
note to
number
get
of
that.
those and how they're categorized would be helpful, but yeah,
There's three.
okay. One question down. Thank you.
yeah, and they work about 25 hours a week.
Okay. Cool.
And then our last area right here for AIM 1D, increase student knowledge, successfully navigate life after high school. Each year, 100% of all high school seniors will have completed a post-secondary transition plan. And then each year, 100% of 7th, 12th grade students will have initiated, reviewed their EDP, Education Development Plan.
So those are two different things.
The EDP, yes.
From the, if.
Yes.
I'm asking
Yep.
this from someone who
Yep.
knows nothing about education.
So your
So-
EDP is while you're here, and then you're going to create an after high school plan.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's clear to the community
Yep.
and understanding that.
I'm not sure how you can make it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
post-secondary,
had to ask a question. I didn't know
without going after high school.
it. Okay.
Yep. Action steps, create a K-12 CT committee, provide targeted K-12 CT professional development, and then create a student readiness exit survey.
How are we doing CTE in kindergarten?
It's career readiness. They talk
know.
about career starting in kindergarten.
Okay, priority number 2. David, you want to take that one?
Priority number 2 is culture and climate. Aim to ensure a culture of self-regulation. Our goals, MPS will reduce its suspension rate by 5% annually. MPS will reduce its expulsion rate by 5% annually. MPS will reduce its total number of referrals by 5% annually. And action steps, train all staff in effective classroom strategies to support self-regulation, provide parent training and supportive student regulation, guarantee MTSS PBIS training, implementation of MPSS multi-tiered systems of supports for student behavior, trauma-informed training for teachers, and Crisis Prevention Institute training, CPI, for teachers.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah,
Terry?
the implementation, it's the same thing.
Yep.
from-
Yeah, I got that.
Thank you.
Terry, you want to take priority three, please?
So priority 3 is staff support and retention. Aim 3A is to increase support for new staff members. The goal is Monroe Public Schools will ensure by the end of each school year, at least 90% of first through third year teachers participate in the New Teacher Academy with a minimum satisfaction rate of 85% among participants. Action steps: implement a comprehensive New Teacher Academy for first through third year teachers to provide targeted professional development and mentorship. Conduct regular needs assessment and professional development evaluations to tailor support programs to the specific needs of new staff. Establish a structured induction program that includes peer mentoring and regular check-ins with new staff members. Create and implement a staff perception and needs survey.
Where there's only one goal, should it be goal instead of goals
On
at the top?
Gotcha.
Like for
Thank you.
priority 3, there's only one goal.
Yep.
Or split it in half.
Priority 1, there's only one.
It could be about satisfaction.
Well, there actually is two in that sentence, because the first one is 90% and the second one is 85%. It's just written as one sentence. So it appears like there's one. So however they want to do that, I see.
We can split that into two.
Yeah. So I'm, only because Carrie and I were talking about this, I just want to clarify this, because I know we talked about moving that to 100%. Why shouldn't 100% of the teachers be in academy? So I think we've had this conversation, so just remind me why it's not 100% is because from first to third grade, they have to participate in Teacher Academy one time between first and third grade. Is that what we're saying?
No, so currently, we encourage our new teachers to attend. We don't have anything that's contractually binding. We have negotiations or bargaining coming up, and that's something hopefully we would like to work in. But all that is dependent on
Okay,
that agreement.
I got it.
And often it's before they even have their first paycheck.
Yeah.
Because we talked about doing, yeah.
It's in August, they might still have a job they're working.
And we've had a couple sessions this year, but again, it's
They don't do it
people-
each year. They do it one time within 3 years.
hopefully, like, there's a lot of different ways you could look at it. Like, we want everyone who's brand new to the district in here before the year starts, and anyone else who can come is definitely a bonus
Okay.
in years 1 to 3.
Okay.
Would you like me to move on? Aim 3B, increase the sense of belonging and well-being among all staff members. Goals: Monroe Public Schools will ensure that by the end of each school year, 90% of educators report high levels of job satisfaction, reflecting that they feel supported, valued, connected to their school community, and empowered to positively impact student learning and success.
That's one we can't split, so probably just take the S. Yeah.
Action steps: develop initiatives to promote staff well-being, such as wellness programs and social events to foster a sense of community. Create and conduct regular surveys to measure staff well-being and sense of belonging, and use the feedback to make continuous improvements. enhance communication and transparency between administration and staff to ensure that staff feel valued and heard, establish programs and systems of staff support utilizing feedback data to drive continuous improvement.
That's right.
You know how you look at it sometimes and you're like, is that right?
I know, it doesn't look right. Yeah, that's right.
Aim 3C.
So we had the survey for those, not yet?
That's what got me creative.
Aim 3C, enhance the development and retention of highly effective staff members. Goals, Monroe Public Schools will achieve an annual staff turnover rate of 30% or less, with turnover data analyzed and reported by employee group at the end of each school year. Action steps, strengthen contract language to ensure competitive compensation, benefits, and working conditions compared to surrounding districts. Implement a rewards and recognition program to acknowledge and celebrate staff achievements and contributions. Provide opportunities for professional growth and career advancement through targeted training and development programs. Establish mentorship programs for all employee groups.
Did you ever hear the word, you should never use the word all, because when you use the word all means all? Did you ever hear that? So when you go to define something and you go to measure something, all means all. Just note to self. You've all in here a few times.
All right. Cassie, you want to take priority 4?
Aim 4A, strengthen family and community relationships by building trust and value. Goals, Monroe Public Schools will achieve an annual 80% satisfaction rate among families who identify the district as valued, trusted, and collaborative partner in supporting student growth and success. Monroe Public Schools will work collaboratively with 10 community partners to support students. Action steps, identify unmet needs for families and community members, establishment of monthly opportunities for families aligned to needs assessment, strengthen family partnerships through consistent communication, engagement events, and collaboration with community resources, establish common goals between the schools and community partners, utilize the Care Solace dashboard to inform programming and outreach, develop and distribute a user-friendly graphic for families that clearly outlines how to access local community resources and provides a summary of the services these resources offer.
I removed the Care Solace off there only because what we'll do is we'll use that as one of our KPIs. It'll help. If we, as long as we have it, we can use it as information for us.
Yeah, and then if
Yep.
it changes, it doesn't affect your,
Yep.
So you,
project.
it's now utilize a dashboard to inform programming? Is
Or I
that all?
just pull the whole thing.
I just pulled it.
Oh, the whole
Yeah.
thing?
It's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should the last bullet instead of graphic, are you wanting a publication or are you looking for a single graphic?
Develop and distribute.
That'd be hard to do with one graphic.
Well, I was just curious, I'm thinking that's something you probably can have about.
Probably because she's gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
So I would, can we change the word graphic to publication? Because I think a single graphic wouldn't be able to encompass all.
User-friendly publication.
Communication, something.
However you want.
Yeah, any of those I think would
Yeah.
be better. Use resources down there again,
How did we
so
decide 10?
resources in there.
10 community partners.
It was a random number.
Public schools will work collaboratively with 10
That
community
seems like,
partners.
It's a random
very,
number.
very specific.
Yeah, when
just
we were
did-
working through this, the conversation led to needing a number of how many of, each year we're working with different partners. So how many are we working with? So that's how that 10 came about, was that we're going to work with 10. Now this year it might be these 10, next year it's the next 10. And so it was just a number to validate, okay,
You can always do more and you can always do better. But
Yeah.
that is the minimum
Yep.
that we're looking for. That's all.
Yep.
So the unmet needs for families and aligned to a needs assessment. Like, do we have that? Like, I don't understand how we're gonna, like, I don't know how those are becoming, like, thing.
So we do need to always do survey work with our parents, because there are going to be things that we think we're meeting parents' needs when we're really not. And so we have to ask some questions of our parents to find out what is being missed out there.
Yeah, it says it's aligning to a needs assessment, so that makes
Yep.
it sound like it's referencing something pretty specific. And I don't know that we have a needs assessment.
That's what I mean. I know we don't have one created yet, but we need to have that created.
So why don't, instead of
establish it.
saying that you have a specific needs assessment, why don't you say a needs, use something else other than the word assessment? Pick another word.
I think Hanover
Yeah.
said that they had a needs assessment. Wasn't that part of their surveying?
It is. We have, yes, we have it. We're back, that's number 1 right here, right?
4A.
Well,
Well, no, I meant, when I'm looking at this
Yeah.
document right here.
the needs assessment is what.
Yeah.
It's the second.
Well, the
second
first
check
one
under
says we're
the-
going to identify unmet
Oh, I
needs for
gotcha.
families and community members. And based on our presentations tonight, we can understand how complex that is.
Yep.
So the complexity of that dynamic alone is going to be challenging. And the second part of that is identifying that there's an actual needs assessment that you're utilizing is like, that's a whole thing.
So what can happen, I think, is check marks 1 and 2. If we just took away check mark 2 and at the top, identify unmet needs for families and community members as identified through a needs assessment.
Yeah, we don't need to identify unmet needs for community members. That's not our resource base. But unmet needs
For
for the
families,
families.
maybe just the families.
Yeah. And you could say along with, or something community somehow, because this is all about strengthening family and community. You could find a conjoining word, Wendy, that fits the two of them together. Not as.
So what that would look like right now is identify unmet needs for families through, and I wrote down it, it's not worded out right,
I
but
know what you
it's a needs assessment. I mean, that way we can learn from
With
parents.
community something, or alongside how about alongside the community?
Resources.
We use resources a lot, but you could use your thesaurus and look at what other word from resources would be beneficial.
I spent some time with stores today.
I like my thesaurus.
Okay,
That would make sense then.
all right. We have enough information there where we can refine that? All right, perfect. Okay, and then Cassie, priority 4B.
Decrease chronic absenteeism. Monroe Public Schools will achieve an annual 5% reduction in the district's chronic absenteeism rate by the end of each school year. Establish school-based attendance teams, educate parents about the impact of chronic absenteeism, develop early intervention protocols for identification and response to students at risk, generate attendance reports for review from 2025 for baseline data, ensure all students have consistent access to high-quality instruction and educational opportunities, with a focus on students identified as socioeconomically disadvantaged and students with disabilities.
So I know we had this discussion. When you use the word all, we're going to ensure all students have consistent access. All means all. We don't have to subcategorize any particular groups. All means all. So I don't think anything in parentheses is necessary. All means all. That
Or
means
just take all
whatever-
out.
All of it. Just take that parentheses out.
Our most at-risk population.
I'd say.
No, all students will have consistent and access high-quality instruction and educational opportunities. That means every single student, regardless of need, regardless of anything that comes up, we are covering it all. And I think that all means sufficient.
Okay.
Socioeconomic disadvantage is a good replacement for poverty, you know?
Ah,
The buzzword.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
On page
they're all
5.
buzzwords.
Yeah.
I think on what the data you're pulling it from, public, calls it that way anyway, Andy. You know that, the census data? I think that's how it categorizes it anyway. Nice work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is, we'll go through in the next couple of days, get this thing all refined out, and then we're going to publish it. So great big thank you, everybody, for all of your work on this document. And now we'll go to work on, well, let me back up the truck. We will continue working on meeting all of these goals here.
Okay, one question. If we were to change the picture and do a new picture, what would the timeline be necessary for us to be able to have our hair combed in the next picture?
So, so do this.
I'm asking.
Tomorrow night, come dressed. We will work to confirm, hopefully Mary's with us, okay? If Mary's not, then,
Give us a heads up beforehand so I know how much work I have to do.
Give us an hour.
There's a difference between.
okay.
We need to
Thank
know
you.
by 4:30.
We will send a text out tomorrow once we've confirmed Mary is here.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
I easily work to do my hair.
I spent 10 minutes getting ready today. I might need 20 tomorrow.
And then I do have one
Do
other.
you want to color coordinate? Do we want to do tans and browns and greens and?
So I do have one other question for our board members tonight, is this. Be sure to communicate to myself, you can either do it through email tonight or to Jamie about how you would like if you're a paper person, if you want your materials just electronically, what you want that to look like, so we know exactly how to best take care of you. The other is this, is if you, because some nights are longer, you do have the opportunity, and I'm doing this intentionally in public right here, is if you need something to eat, you can always communicate a couple days ahead of time to Jamie. She'll have something here from Sodexo, and then she'll tell you, okay, it's gonna cost you $5. They're going to bill you, and you're gonna give money for it, okay?
Well, I would say what they actually proposed today, because we spoke to them about it, they could create some options. I will pass it along to you guys let me know if you want to order. Then they'll have it ready similar to, you guys would eat it either before the meeting if you arrive early, or that way you have it to take home.
Yep.
Because let's be honest, like Brian, if you work a 15 or Gary, 15-hour day, you might not have time to cook. And it's great to take home, right? So they did say they would get
Yep.
that option, and then you would just get a bill for it and write a check to them.
Yep.
To the Sodexo.
I do like the idea of eating it
So I worked
beforehand.
with them.
What's that?
today.
Eating it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that didn't have a good optic.
Yep.
Yeah,
It wasn't a good optic.
yeah.
So
Taking it
that's-
home is the best option.
Yep.
Or eat it beforehand.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
early
Yeah.
and eat. Yeah, come early and eat.
So that's all I have tonight, sir.
Okay, Brian, do we have any public commentary?
I am searching everywhere and I find none.
Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Do I have support?
Or
Show of hands? Okay, and that concludes our agenda. Let's see, Monroe Public Schools Board of Education work session for Monday, February 23rd, 2026 is adjourned. And the time is 7:27 PM. Thank you.
thinking about